the girlies in question are Matt Gaetz and Kevin McCarthy. So apparently McCarthy's been trying to signal in different ways that he's tired of Matt Gaetz's demands, and some not so subtle, because it started here with a prominent MAGA Twitter account, which is depressing to say that exists, posted this showing a Kevin McCarthy proxy had reached out to him to post paid anti-Gaetz and anti-shutdown content. So it says, "Howdy, got an advocacy campaign with budget. Do you do paid posts? If so, how do you work? By the way, the issue is against Gaetz and government shutdown. Let me know ASAP." And says, "I'm a strong supporter of what Gaetz is doing. The more of the federal government we shut down, the happier we'll all be," which is, I mean, severely MAGA-brained individual, because it's just fundamentally not true. But so apparently people working for Kevin McCarthy are doing these paid campaigns, reaching out to MAGA influencers, which is a career that you can have now. But Gaetz tagged McCarthy and called him pathetic. But apparently in a closed door meeting, they were yelling. They were screaming at each other. Their tensions were flared. So Gaetz gave his recounting of the altercation to The Hill. It reads, "I asked McCarthy a direct question. Were you out there paying for people to try to create a false negative sentiment about me online?" And his non sequitur retort was that he was giving out $2.5 million to other Republicans at breakfast. And I asked him how much of that money he'd gotten from FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. McCarthy, however, denied any involvement in the anti-Gaetz campaign. According to the lawmaker, and his outside legal counsel sent a cease and desist to the individual responsible for the solicitations earlier this week. Speaker told Gaetz that he is busy doing his job and trying to run the conference, and essentially said, "I'm not worried about you, Matt," according to a House Republican, although we know that's not true. I mean, he has shown time and time again that he's not only worried about Matt Gaetz, but willing to capitulate to him. But he did have the cease and desist letter sent. That is true. So here's that headline. McCarthy attorney sends cease and desist over anti-Gaetz campaign. The speaker denies he has anything to do with the social media effort against the shutdown, which also targets Representative Matt Gaetz. Of course, the cease and desist would be at representing themselves as having ties to Kevin McCarthy, because otherwise it's perfectly legal to just have that campaign as a private individual. But I don't really know who to believe in this. Of course, McCarthy does have some evidence, but there's no reason he couldn't have just sent the letter to cover his own ass. And if I was Kevin McCarthy, I definitely want to attack Gaetz somehow, and using MAGA influencers to do it seems like maybe the only line of attack he has, because he's constantly capitulating to him with policy in Congress.
Right, like, I love Matt Gaetz's argument, which is, listen, the only way this could happen for people to come out against me is if they're getting paid by Kevin McCarthy, as if not everybody in the universe already looks at Matt Gaetz and is like, this guy sucks. Matt Gaetz is trying to hit him with like how much money comes from Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. That is a statement that resonates with a lot of Americans. Let's get the money out of politics. And the reason that that's a good fight for Gaetz to pick is the only reason that people become the leader of their party in this day and age is when they can raise a lot of money. McCarthy is in California, where people go to raise money. He's in Bakersfield, which is like severely methy. If you want to describe a part of California, it's the methy part. It's the part in GTA 5 where like Trevor lives. Like, that's Bakersfield. I love it very much. I have dear friends from there, but that's how I know about it. They're like, yeah, we got a lot of meth and a drive-through Starbucks and whatever. Anyways, those are the two things. But yeah, so they need to look at all these behaviors, all these interactions between Kevin McCarthy and Matt Gaetz and say, like, this is a fight that I just don't think many Republicans are going to be happy about in the end, because it makes them look utterly terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and it's nice to be able to cover Republican infighting, because for so long the party was really in lockstep, and the leaders of the party had a good control over their caucus, which Kevin McCarthy obviously doesn't.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.